So as I was saying before the break, a 300th Grand Prix for the 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher this afternoon. He has a colourful time in F1.
The first win ever for Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher scarcely able to believe his luck. The crowd is roaring, the flags are waving, and Schumacher goes through. And this year, it is Michael Schumacher. Yeah! Unbelievable, Schumacher's on pole!
So, Michael, this is a very significant race for you. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm excited. Beautiful weather, so great for all the spectators and the fans that being around. Obviously, Friday was quite a difficult moment for all of those guys and for us. So happy to see it like this. Obviously, for us, it's going to be a difficult task today, but we're going to be ready for it. So we try our best.
What does 300 Grand Prix mean to you?
300 beautiful moments.
And your hopes today?
Hopes today, finally ending up in the points. I guess that's about the maximum we could hope for.
Well, it is an amazing record that Michael Schumacher holds in going to 300 now. He's passed many of the great drivers. Only Rubens Barrichello ahead of him. 26 more? Surely that's well within his reach. But this is perhaps the one that matters. All-time Grand Prix wins. He did so many, 91, 40 clear of Alain Prost, Ayrton Senna, his career cut short. And then if you look at the World Championship titles, well, again, well clear of Fangio. Michael Schumacher with 7, Fangio with 5, Prost with 4th, and then a clutch on 3 wins to their names. I mean, what a driver. You run out of superlatives, don't you?
You do. I think it's just incredible what he has achieved and the way he's still going. I never agree with everything that he did in his racing career, but you have to say that his dedication to the sport was very, very strong.
We all know him very well. We were both teammates to Michael, which is a painful experience. Yeah, he was the arch enemy, which was a painful experience. But I mean, look at those numbers. Is he the greatest driver of all time? I think he's the most complete driver of all time. And then you can all argue amongst yourselves about who is the greatest. It's very difficult to compare eras, as we saw, of course, from the old Spa piece. But, you know, Michael has done an incredible job. His speed, his fitness, the way he works a team in the car and out of the car, probably the most important aspect of what he's achieved, the way he's galvanised the team around him. Some say that's unfair, but you want all of the unfair advantage you can get, don't you, Damon?
Well, I don't think you can put any of this, you can't put it all down to luck, put it that way. You know, you don't win that much without being a very, very good, talented driver. And as you rightly pointed out, he works hard. You know, he puts in everything he's got into his driving, and he loves it, you know. There's 300 beautiful moments. He loves driving a racing car.
And this was last night. He's actually become an honorary citizen of Spa as well. He has a bit of a love affair, doesn't he, with this place. That's his new nose cone that he's received as well. But his debut here, his first win here.
I think you get free chips and mayonnaise or something when you become honorary member here, but honorary citizen. But you know, I was out at the track yesterday morning, and Michael was really pushing for all he was worth. They haven't got the fastest car here. He's only 13th on the grid, but was he ever going for it? So, you know, he's not given up by a long, long way.
OK, let's get up to Ant and Georgie on the Skypad. They're going to have a look at some of the highs and lows of Michael's career.
Yeah, we are, Si, because the records are there for all to see, Ant, but his passion, as Martin was just alluding to there, shows no signs of diminishing, not now, not this race weekend, and not when we thought he was going to retire back in 2006 either.
Exactly. He's always been a driver that pushes the boundaries, and in many ways that's what makes him so special, you know. And we've got some clips here. Brazil 2006, we'll start off with this one. What we all thought was going to be his last race, in the Ferrari days, of course, fighting Kimi Raikkonen on his way back up the field after getting a puncture early on in the race. This was fantastic stuff, setting the fastest lap in the process as well during this race, pulling moves like this one on Raikkonen. You know, no mean feat at all. This was just super stuff to be doing right at the end of what we all believed to be his final race.
I mean, as a young driver growing up, he must have been a driver that you looked up to, that you respected. I mean, how much have you learned from Michael Schumacher?
Well, any driver learns from, you know, their drivers that they're looking up to as their heroes in the sport at any time or through any generation, and I certainly did with Michael. You know, he was a fantastic driver with the record speaks for itself, and as I watched him develop as a driver in the 90s, you know, I was developing as a kart driver myself. So yeah, you naturally look up to these guys.
Competitive, ruthless, aggressive, and sometimes controversial too.
Leaves no stone unturned, this guy. And
he takes no prisoners, though, does he?
Absolutely not. And this was maybe one of those moments that, you know, the highest moments in Monaco 2006 again, where this happened in the Rascasse. Still talked about today. I was commentating at the time, and I called it as an intentional move on his behalf. Yellow flags came out, stopped Fernando Alonso taking pole position. He had set purple on one of the
See
sectors.
what Flavio Briatore thinks of it all.
He certainly thought so. So, you know, Michael still denies this to this day. And I was in good company. It wasn't just me, it was Jackie Stewart as well, and many, many other drivers out there.
I mean, it goes to show when he's got the right tools. I mean, he put it on pole in Monaco this season.
Well, that's the thing, you know. We've seen great moments like this again in Belgium. Well, we would if it was working. Here we go, thank God.
Have faith.
Where he was on the slick tyres, Damon's on the wet tyres. Our very own Damon Hill doing battle with Michael Schumacher once again into the top end of the Kemmel Straight in Le Combe. And just watch this. Slick tyres, glistening in the wet conditions, says it all to me.
I mean, how hard is that right now?
It's
driving in
incredibly
those conditions
hard. It's
with those
incredible.
tyres?
To drive a Formula 1 car in these conditions, in the wet on the right tyre is hard enough. But, you know, say what you will about this car he was in at that time, but this is genius. What he was doing was genius. In slicks in the wet, you know, keeping Damon behind. He went on to win the race because of this, and I don't know what they were saying at the end, but...
And they had a little word.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, why don't we head back down to Damon Hill and ask him. Damon, do you remember what he was talking to you about at that moment in time?
I was just saying if he carries on driving like that, he's probably going to win 7 World Championships, about 91 Grand Prix. So I was encouraging, really.
Did it ever nearly come to fisticuffs?
Quite a few times, I think. You know, when it came to actual physical blows with the cars, anyway. But yes, he's controversial. And at that stage of his career, you know, he was doing things that some people felt were beyond the boundary. Now it looks fairly tame, doesn't it?
It does look tame. And what was your impression? Who would you back in a fight between these two, Hill or Schumacher?
Careful, Ant.
Oh, Damon any day, you know. I have to work with him. I hang around with Damon a lot more.
Right, well, Mercedes having a bit of a disappointment.